We don't have Alani's this week.
We don't, and it doesn't taste as good.
I kind of like these ones. It's not as good as Greatness by Undefined Nutrition.
Well, nothing is. Let's start there.
And no,
I have Welch's
It
Grape.
seems like blatant product placement.
You have an opinion on that? I have Welch's Grape flavor.
You chose that one.
I'm just asking what do you think about the flavor?
You chose the grape one. I think it's good. I think you like it more. You teed it up. You get to live in that.
I was just curious what you thought about it.
Okay, I think it's fine. If I start coughing during this episode, it's because I've been very, very sick for like 8 days.
Someone decided to get COVID during his prep.
Yeah, I went to my buddy's bachelor party, which is unwise during a prep. I didn't go terribly hard, but whenever you travel and are around new people and are in public, you take a risk.
These things happen.
And I came home. I did one good session of squats, deadlifts.
Sick deadlift session.
And at the end of that session, during my planks, I'm like, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
It's like, uh-oh. And then I woke up the next day extremely sick. Alice was thankfully here. She took care of me the whole weekend. That's how I spent my 30th birthday.
Yeah.
Sick on the couch with Alice.
Yeah.
Somehow Alec and Alice didn't really get it.
I got nothing.
You guys were around me the whole damn time.
Yeah.
And I just have this lingering cough that's quite annoying. I did a tune-up session yesterday, which was quite uncomfortable, but fine. Like the strength is there, the skill is there.
And we did 90% of the peak.
Yeah. Like we did the work. It's just we missed my peak week for Worlds.
Yeah, just the stuff where you do the events that it's hardest.
Yeah,
but
like I wanted to do basically the comp run of everything.
Yeah.
Get somewhere close to 500 kilos on the 18-inch deadlift.
Yeah.
Or whatever our top session was going to be on the 18-inch deadlift.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a good event for me anyways. So I'm not stressing. It is not ideal. There's maybe a silver lining of like, I got to save my back for a week.
Sure. Yeah.
Could be well rested, but I
at
need
this
to get
point, it's
my
just
lungs
like,
clear.
yeah, at this point, just get the lungs clear, but you're physically ready to do exactly what you were going to do anyway.
Yes. So, yeah, we're going to do a couple tune-up sessions, and we're going to be driving down to Worlds.
Yeah, that's it.
Kind of cool. Home field advantage,
That's
kind
so
of.
nice.
I get to drive to Worlds.
It's so nice.
It's probably never going to happen again.
No, well, no.
It's also, it makes it seem like, oh, it's close. It's 11 hours away.
Yeah, it's a long drive.
But me, Alice, Braden, and Alec are going to be road dogging it down to Worlds. And yeah.
It's going to be good.
Going to stay a couple extra days after the show just to hang out.
Got a real nice B&B.
Real nice Airbnb. Yeah, so it's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So recap of
let's do Siberian Power Show first.
Power Show
Get
first.
into World's Strongest Man after. Yeah, so and obviously the show happened. It was what was it? It was the 4th month and 19th day. Siberian Power Show. Great show. Honestly, it looked awesome. The production was bananas.
Very good.
It was, I would say, outside of Rogue and maybe Shaw, but Rogue for sure. Coolest production I've ever seen. Like lights and flames and like huge stage. The crowd had many thousands of people. It was awesome. It was cool to see. Obviously, the top 3 guys there. Mateus won. You know, anytime you let that guy get anything other than last in deadlift, good luck winning the rest of the show. Thor came in 2nd, and David Shame, our Russian boy, took 3rd.
And
narrowly.
It was at 1 point?
1 point from Thor.
And I think there was an error on the score sheet. Everyone thought they tied.
So originally they tied, and what happened? I got the clarification on that. What happened was Thor got a rep on the overhead, and the judges didn't count it because they forgot that they allowed the rule for the rep to continue after the timer.
The rogue rule.
Yeah, so that was in place. The head judge, JF at the time, just forgot about it. So they took it away during the show, but then afterwards they retroactively fixed it.
Because it was written in the rules.
Yes, it was written in the rules.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's all that was.
I mean, but you effectively, Shaman was right there with Thor.
With Thor.
In a 6-event show.
Right, which tells you that dude belongs everywhere.
Yep.
As far if you could be 1 point or even tying with Thor, dude, you're gonna be good at any show. You're gonna be good at any show.
We were really talking up the show as far as it was a good opportunity for some guys who don't get exposure to directly compare. Shame used the opportunity.
Oh yeah.
A couple other guys didn't, but a couple did.
One did. Seth Sukup.
Seth Sukup. He found out a couple weeks before.
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
He had 4 weeks, and Homeboy took 4th place in that lineup.
It's pretty cool.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And then on the rest of the roster, we had a couple things wrong.
Well,
Frederick Johansson did a lot better than we gave him credit for.
Yes, he did.
Representing very well.
Sweden, strongest man.
Reza seemed to be somewhat injured.
Apparently, he was wrapping his legs really extensively, which I would only assume he's
hurting.
He did a show like 2 weeks prior. That was a mistake.
Just competing too much.
Yeah.
And then Dmitry, the other standout Russian,
Right.
in the deadlift, tore his hamstring.
Event 1.
So he was hobbling his way through the show.
But bro, get this. With a torn hamstring, where is he at? I'm looking at the stats here. Dmitry,
Didn't he have a pretty good dumbbell run with one?
dude,
one
he had
leg?
128 kilos with one leg, I think.
Sick.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Dude, it's incredible.
Yeah. So really cool show. I think final story, honestly, the coolest story of the show
Oh yeah,
is
get into it,
Shivakov.
dude. Old man got his real retirement.
Yes. So just due to politics and injuries, Shivakov never really got a good send off
No,
in the sport. And this isn't to say that he's 100% done. He might be.
I think he's done.
I think he's done.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But
He deserved a real
he
send off.
wanted to do one more prep and compete against a legitimate strongman crowd. He got through the show, ended up 5th.
Yep.
He's still got a lot of strength left in him.
Dude, great
But Shivakov got to basically retire in front of a strongman crowd.
for thousands of people too.
Yeah.
Thousands.
In his home country. That's cool.
Did you see the photos of the crowd?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It was awesome.
And if it seems like Matt Rhodes is putting up one event at a time on his YouTube, so
Yes,
you
he
can
is.
watch the stream.
For free.
So yeah, it's all available on YouTube if you want to watch it back. Just really cool show that I think is going to be more of a staple in the regular
I think it will be.
schedule
There's a sum greater than 0 that we might be doing it at one time.
at some point. Yeah. And it seems like Matt's pretty. He sees the role of Siberian Power Show as the place to represent a lot of nations, and based on the schedule being close to Worlds, he's going to get a lot of the guys that are maybe underrepresented and haven't gotten their shot
Right
yet.
on the cusp.
Yeah, like, oh, they're not a Worlds guy,
Yeah.
but they maybe should be.
Like a Seth. Right? Or
Right.
a Shame.
Yeah,
It's perfect for these guys to show
So,
show their chops.
just based on the time of year, that's the kind of guys that are going to be on this roster.
Yeah.
So I think it's a cool show. I'd love to go at some point.
Yeah.
There might just be a year where it works out.
Yeah.
Um,
Other than that, any other standouts for you? Or
no,
Yeah.
I think, I hope that when Brian considers the strongest man on earth roster, that Shame is.
yeah, message to Brian. I doubt Brian watches this.
Brian doesn't watch
He
this.
does no way. Maybe Carrie does though. I could see
Maybe.
her. Yeah,
No, I
keeping
think-
tabs.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things.
Please
But what
consider
was cool
David
when we were
Shame.
talking to when we've talked to Brian or talked to Foshan or like they're like we were talking about different athletes and like, oh, I've never heard of him.
Yeah.
And they're genuinely interested in just
Yeah.
like learning about the sport.
Yeah,
at
Brian's
large.
scouting. Brian
He's
scouts.
actively scouting. So
Yeah.
and like he pulled me out of Arnold UK, which like half
Yeah.
the people didn't even care about that show.
Yeah, well, he said on the podcast you did with him, because of who you beat at Americas and then your consistency at UK, he was like, yep,
Yeah.
good enough to be top 16.
Sure.
And honestly, he did not have to take that risk with you. He could have easily gotten a guy with a bigger name.
Yeah.
That maybe wouldn't have been better, but at least a bigger name. And,
Sure.
and no one would have blinked. And
Yeah.
like, it was really cool that he did that.
Yeah.
So David Shame, please consider him for strongest man on earth.
Yes, I think that'd be a great pick.
Yeah.
At least an alternate spot. I
Sure.
know the visa situation would be tough, but I think it's worth the investment.
Hey, nothing.
I mean-
nothing beats lawyers and money.
They got an American on short notice to
4
get to
weeks.
Russia.
They can do it.
You have some lead time. You can get a Russian to come here.
Yeah.
I guarantee you could figure out a way to do it.
Totally.
Yeah. So pretty cool stuff. World's strongest man.
Ooh.
Honestly, due to, I gotta kind of provide some thanks to maybe Hooper with his.
Yeah, talk about the money thing.
So he
Because he messaged
he
you
did a
that,
lot
right?
of like outward, basically ranting about the issues that a lot of guys have had for years.
Yeah.
But I think he's the big enough fish with the big enough voice
Yeah.
that they finally listened. Plus the addition of this year, Terry Hollins and Rob Kearney are hired kind of as consultants for the show.
Ambassadors, I think they're calling
Yeah,
them.
it's
or-
like, and Rob basically described his job to me as like making sure to bridge the gap between the needs of the TV organization
and the athletes.
and the athletes having a good contest experience.
Smart.
And he kind of made it sound like next year was when a lot of the big
Yeah.
things could happen.
Terry alluded
But-
to that as well.
But this year they got way more traction, I think, either than thought.
Dude.
Some combination of Hooper and
we got to
the
get
internet.
into that change too at some point. But yeah,
Yeah.
like Hooper, made his opinions loud,
Yes.
which frankly good. I
Yeah.
like to do that too.
Yeah.
But when you're someone of significance like him, you can get the needle moving a little
Yeah.
bit sooner than other times. And
And
he created an athlete fundraiser, which I know you politely turned down the money and gave it to someone else, right?
no, so it goes to CSM.
CSM. That's
So
what
he
it
wants
was.
to help fund CSM. But like some of because I've gotten a few paydays in Strongman.
Mhm.
A lot of the guys coming have never been paid from Strongman yet.
Right.
And they have day jobs and family and all kinds of stuff. Not to say I'm well off, because I'm not.
Yeah. But you're
I'm just
probably more comfortable than some.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? Give it where it needs to be distributed. And Yeah, and it's going to be. He was hoping to get somewhere close to about 1,000 per athlete. So that's just really cool stuff. And for some of the guys, it's going to be gigantic.
Dude, totally.
Yeah. So some of the changes.
Yeah, let's get into the changes. One, I think, is really cool. Monetary change. Every athlete has an option to get paid their minimum before even getting to the show.
Yeah. Basically, when you arrive, you can get paid.
That's huge.
Yep.
Because a lot of these guys, dude, it's a genuine struggle because sometimes they're paying for their partners or families to come and they don't have a lot of money. Most of them are international dudes. That's many thousands of American dollars.
If I got invited 2 years ago, I literally could not have paid for...
Totally.
Yeah. I had shows where I could pay for the flight, and that was it.
Yeah, man.
And I needed help with I was broke.
Yeah, totally. And so that's a huge significant change, which I think is wonderful. And then the big ones, let's get into the big ones. The first one that stands out to me, every athlete has to do all 5 heat events, which is significant because they are now carrying the points into the final.
Yes.
That is huge.
I think they're at the second best possible layout of the show.
Yes.
They still maintain the groups because it's good for TV.
Well, it's contractually obliged until this year or next.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they still have the groups, but everyone has to really try. Nobody gets to coast their way through because when you make the final, those 10 guys are going to rescore just like those 10 guys did those first 5 events by themselves.
Like the same way official Strongman Games does.
Yes. So it's like you don't get to see Hooper and Tom jog their way through the groups.
Right.
They're going to be sprinting on everything. And that's really, I think that's just a better fan experience, especially because with the tickets, they sold single day. There's some people who are only going to come for the group. Some people only afford for the final. Any day you show up is actual competitive and relevant strongman.
Yeah.
You don't get to flush the group events when you're done.
Right. And because of that too, they staggered what groups start on what events too to avoid people
if
knowing
they just
too
went
much.
group 1 through 5,
that'd be bad.
Being in group 5 would be sick.
Yeah,
you just know what everyone's done.
Yeah.
So they're staggering it in a lot of creative ways to make it as fair as possible, given that they're still doing groups. So I could not be more pleased on that.
Yeah. Listen, I've given Worlds publicly shit for years. I've poo-pooed that competition because, at least historically speaking, I would always say it's not a real competition. It's a TV show because if you're trying to find who the actual best in the world is and you're creating a series of events, a heat system inherently defeats that.
Yeah.
Like you're not telling me you're trying to find the best, you're trying to create TV. Now, do they get rid of the heats? No, not yet. Truth be told, I could see it going away in the next couple of years. But what they did do is get it as close as they freaking can. And now because of these changes, it's a 10-event show.
Yeah.
This is not a heats and a finals. This is a 10-event show in reality, which in my opinion makes it the best, if not one of it's top 2 now best shows in the world. There's an argument for potentially now taking back a real world title status because no other show has 10 events.
Yeah.
No other show has this many athletes lined up. This is actually insane.
Yeah.
And you got to give them flowers when they deserve it. Yeah. They did a great change.
Now, what's the other thing format wise that sucks about the groups is there's certain kinds of events logistically that you're just not going to do in the group stage.
Right.
You're going to do more medleys and fast-paced and lighter stuff.
Because of the environment
the classic Brian Shaw complaint.
Yes.
And it's
that's still true.
We still could have some of the lighter, faster,
Giants Live guys.
Giants Live guys to make the final.
Right.
To get bodied by
18-inch
1,000-pound deadlift.
Right. Exactly.
And it's
and that is the fault of the heat still.
Yeah.
That is still the fault. And
the finals events are still who's the strongest dude here.
Right. And you're not going to get that based on the heat.
The groups is who's technical, can do 8 reps.
Right.
Right.
Or who could run a sandbag fast, which is still an important skill. But
over a 10-event contest, I'd love for those events to be evenly distributed.
Sure.
Right. Maybe event 2 is the max.
Yeah. Put one of the maxes in the heat.
You don't have time to do a max on 25 guys.
Totally.
You just don't. So, it's logistically the best it's ever been. Not perfect, but I love it.
It is the best it's ever been.
I'm actually going to have probably still a hard time making the final.
Yeah, totally.
Because my best stuff is in the second half.
Yeah.
But there's still some events in the group stage that are me having that stone medley count.
Oh, yeah.
In the groups.
Huge.
Big time.
Yeah. I honestly think you're going to win that outright.
I think I can win that event outright.
Yeah.
And I think I can win the press medley outright.
Yep.
I think I can win the jerk outright.
Yep.
I think I can go top 3 in the 18-inch deadlift.
Yep.
I think I can go top 3 in stones.
Yeah. This is a good show for you.
It is a good show. Hercules hold, who knows?
I genuinely don't know.
My hands are the strongest I've ever been.
Yeah, it helps.
My throwing's good from a distance.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's fun. My 770 for reps deadlift.
Yeah, that was
it's
awesome.
Funny. everybody has ended prep with the same set.
Yeah,
770 for 4 to 6 reps.
Yep.
Everyone ended prep with that set.
Yeah.
I ended with 770 for 5 after clusters.
Yeah. I do think if this is the direction world is going, I do think in the next couple of years, maybe next year, the heats are gone.
Yeah.
I think they're gone. And I think that if they do that with 10 events, how could you say it's not the most competitive show in the world? How could you not?
How could you not? And, you know, we're maybe a little premature on this, like, because they could have announced the groups themselves in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Which that's the real predictions fun video.
Yeah. Heats.
We don't have the heats yet.
Yeah. That is still a problem with the format of the contest. The involvement of heats allows for unintentional bias in creating groups.
So if you, let's say, you know, throw the groups aside, this kind of a fun thought experiment.
Yeah.
No groups.
Yeah.
Who is your top 10 in the final?
It's still like
if it was just 25 dudes competing and the top 10 make it.
It's still in the same order though that we have now.
Yeah.
Ugh, that's the problem is the
That's
order.
so hard.
Okay, so let's go through the roster real quick,
Yeah.
and then let's go through that thought experiment. So that Austin Andrade, Maxime Boudreau, Wes Derwinski, Thomas Evans, Shane Flowers, Andrew Flynn, Andre Foytu, Nick Gardione, Lucas Hatton, Patty Haynes, Tristan Hoth, Mitchell Hooper, Bryce Johnson, Mateusz Kieliskowski, Pavel Kordiak, Trey Mitchell, Evans Donna, Rain O'Neill, Matthew Ragg, Luke Richardson, Jakob Schoenwinkel, Evan Singleton, Luke Stoltman, Tom Stoltman, Eddie Williams. That's a great lineup.
There's only like 2 or 3 guys on there where I'm like, honestly, almost all of them you could say they have a good chance to make the final.
It's a stacked lineup. This lineup is actually bananas.
It is.
So you're asking me who I think. All right, so if we're going through the system now, which we both say we still don't like, but it is what it is with the heat events being first.
I think guys.
I think Luke Richardson. I'll go through my 10.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Luke Richardson, Mateusz. We'll go through this section first.
Hooper.
I'm going to go through the right section first. Tom Stoltman, Eddie Williams, maybe.
Eddie Williams looking good.
I'm going to hold off on him. Evan Singleton, I think is pretty good. Jakob Schoenwinkel, Hooper.
You're going to run out of fingers really fast.
I know. It's a crazy show. Haynes. Hold on, I'm not done. Shut up. Shane Flowers. Foytu, you.
Keeping Andrade.
Yep.
Nick and Bryce out of the final.
Yep.
Ooh, okay. Let me see it.
Go ahead.
I'll see it. It's hard.
Nick is close for me. Nick is more close to me than Austin is, if I'm being honest.
But it's like if they got to do the whole show, I think Austin has more points than Nick in the end.
If it's the whole show, it's a completely
and also
different
like Bryce.
Exactly.
If it's the whole show, Bryce beats half the guys you just said.
Bryce will be in the top 4 or 5 if it's the whole show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But he might not make the final.
Exactly.
I'm weirdly on that bubble too.
You are. You're just slightly faster than him.
I'm going to have to work real hard to make the final.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what, dude? Max. He's coming off the bicep.
You're out of your mind.
No, dude.
It's got to be weird being already wrong.
No, dude.
Max. Also, I hope this treats you well.
No, dude.
I love you.
North America's Max Moggs.
He tore his bicep.
He's doing all the events.
All right.
Okay, fine.
I mean, that's your list.
That's a fair point.
It's your list.
I always love predicting on like Wes and Tom Evans because they don't post a damn thing.
I know.
And they're both really good.
They're both really good.
But yeah, based on what the group events are, Foytu, I'd say Nick Gardione, myself, Patty, Hooper, Mateusz, Rain O'Neill, Luke Richardson.
I forgot Rag. Fuck.
Yeah, you did. Evan Singleton, Tom Stoltman. Which, like, there's still, like, I could go 18 fingers.
There's so many good guys.
I could do 18 fingers.
Yeah.
I could do 20 fingers.
And that's the shame of every athlete not just doing all 10. Because
how cool would that show be?
I've never seen, honestly, I have never seen a list this good. This list is better than Fortissimus. I'll make this argument against anyone.
Okay.
This list is better than Fortissimus. This list is better than the 2016 Worlds, I think, was that crazy stacked year. Mm-hmm. This list is bananas because there's never been an average this good.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, so many of these guys are killers.
Yeah.
This show is...
man.
That's why I hate the heats, man. I hate it.
Because it'd be such a cool show if these 25 guys did 10 events.
Bro. What's that final look like? That final result?
I still think...
It's still pretty much what it's going to be. But
I still think the top 3 is the same.
Who do you think... All right, that's a good question. Who's your top 3?
If we all did 10 events?
Yeah.
Oh man,
It's hard.
Hooper.
Okay.
Me, Luke Richardson.
Ooh, over Tom. Interesting. Luke over Tom, huh? Are you
Two-
sure?
Two deadlifts.
It's true. It's two deadlifts.
Two deadlifts.
But Luke's
But he's
deadlift
got-
is not that much greater than Tom's.
It's not, and Tom has some real bankers in there.
I'm putting Tom over Luke.
Yeah, that's not a bad bet. It's
If
so
it was
hard.
if every athlete did 10, I would agree with that top 3.
Yeah,
if Tom
and
was
then
in.
I've heard people say like Mateus placing higher. Mateus can't do the behind the neck jerk.
No,
He just can't.
he's gonna lose so many points.
So many points. And there's two deadlifts.
And there's two deadlifts.
Yeah, I'm like, you're high. Yeah, there's like
But he's gonna go into that final now because of the current setup with a ton of points.
ton of points.
He might be in second or third.
Yeah.
If we're being honest. And now it's like because he's gonna lose a ton of points on that behind the neck press. It's more so than the deadlift, I think.
Yeah, he'll probably get 9th.
He might.
Yeah. And like the only people he's going to beat in that is like if Patty makes the final.
Right, because Patty can't press. And
Yeah.
Patty's going to make the final.
Patty's gonna make the final.
going to make the final, dog.
Yeah.
That's and honestly, dude, sick. Like
Because
good for you, Patty.
He's a weird guy,
Right.
like where he in overall he could be top 3 or 4
Yeah.
in 8 events,
Right.
and go 9-10
Yeah.
in 2 events.
Yeah.
But that average is going to be sick.
And what's so interesting about shows like Worlds versus, let's say, like Strongest Man on Earth, if Patty makes top 10, which I think he absolutely could, and let's say he goes to Strongest Man on Earth, oh boy,
Because Patty could totally get like 3rd, 4th, 5th in the show.
right? He could earn an invite. But it's
Patty may have a better chance of podiuming than me,
totally, he could.
given these events.
He could.
And
But if he goes to
Patty
show like
goes to
Shaw,
Strongest Man on Earth, it's like strap in, brother.
he's gonna have a real rough weekend, brother.
Yeah, like
But
the throw.
it's so crazy how different these shows are. You know what I mean?
It is funny though, given how the group system's set up.
He could totally beat
The
you in this.
skinny fast guys
Yeah.
are going to place high, which are going to get considered for Strongest Man on Earth.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. Like
Like if the event you're excited about at Strongest Man on Earth is the throw, Shane Flowers, calm down.
hey, that's your friend.
That is my friend.
That's your
It's
friend.
my friend Shane Flowers, who's excited about the throwing event at the Strongest Man on Earth.
Fucking nerd.
Yeah, it's the strongest man on earth. Chill.
Yeah, that's again, that's the one knock I have still. Because again, I'm giving them all the praise in the world. They made incredible changes, but my one knock is if you maintain these groups, we're not actually getting the best.
No.
And because we want to know the overall, you know what I mean? Who's the best overall? And so I honestly can't wait for that TV contract to be done. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Because the TV contract it's mandatory groups for now. It's a 50-year deal. I think it's up next year or the year after. I can't remember.
I would love to see if Worlds could get on with like a Netflix
Dude, totally.
or
Well, they're owned by the same company that got WWE on Netflix, so that's
Yeah.
very possible.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, then they have like I loved how Peacock had the Olympics.
Right.
Because
right.
like maybe the actual production
Peacock
of
the
Worlds,
app.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when you could tune in for the shot put or the sprints, whatever.
Mm.
But the magic of that is the reason they say that Worlds wouldn't be a good live event to watch on TV is because it takes all goddamn day.
Yep.
Sure, without TV, they may be able to condense it.
Mhm.
But also, if you just see on your Peacock app, hey, event 1 starts at 9,
Yeah.
event 2 starts at 12, event 3 starts at 3.
We'll all tune in.
We'll all tune in. The dorks will tune in, and then
Totally.
it'll be live on the streaming service to get maintained views.
Yeah.
I think that's the future. Whichever show figures that out first.
Worlds would be the one. They're owned by the same company.
Yeah.
Like got they
So-
already have it in. I would hope people like Darren or Colin would fight for that.
I mean, there is still a lot of nation. It was pretty cool. Somebody on Reddit, this was a couple weeks ago, put out a post of like, if you're a foreign person in
Mhm.
this thread, is Worlds played on TV in your country? And there was a lot of people that said yeah,
really,
in like obscure corners of the world.
except for the places where all the money is.
But
Like,
how many?
it's
You know,
true. It's
two-
it's good.
3 decades of Worlds being on TV in Africa, and
Yeah.
now how many
It-
athletes come from Africa?
At least 2. We at least got 2 now.
Well, but then like the
And 3. No, 3. I mean,
and then
3.
OSG, there's a small army from Zambia. Like,
Yeah.
there is a legitimate strongman culture in Africa now.
Yep.
And that wasn't there 30 years ago.
True. I would say the internet is more powerful,
Sure.
but I agree. It,
But
ha-
that-
it
it
has
was
made
the
good
medium
change.
that did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great change.
All right.
I still haven't given my top 3 on the show.
So mine was if everyone did the same 25.
Yeah, what's your
events.
top 3 with
Given
the format we
the
have?
format,
Yeah.
I actually don't think it's any different. I just moved to 3rd.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
I think I moved to third.
I see you placing the show between third and fifth, depending on what happens with the Hercules hold.
Yeah.
If it goes okay,
if I can go like fourth or better in Hercules hold, we're in good shape.
Well, I think if you go fourth or better, you might be in second.
Yeah.
But
stones, I need to be third or better.
Which I know you will be.
Yeah.
On stones. So you're very.
My stones have been going really well.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I realistically can see you finishing from third to fifth. Like those are the highest percentages. If certain things go way better than we anticipate, second maybe.
Sure. I mean, they made the sandbag medley kind of a favorable format for me.
They did.
It's short enough where I can just sprint and just trust the fact I'm not going to die.
And what's great is, again, I don't know why this is not more common knowledge based on all of the evidence, but you're really fast in loading medleys.
I am.
And now with the structure change versus what it originally was, you're going to do really good.
Yeah.
That which is great because originally
I thought it was 4 bags for 20 meters each.
Yeah, it was.
And I was like, I'm not going to finish.
Yeah, it was 4 bags,
I'm gonna
20
die
meters,
2.5 bags
330
in.
pounds.
Yeah, I'm going to die 2.5 bags in.
Yeah,
and I'm going to waddle the third bag maybe to the truck
and pass out.
Yeah, so I don't know. We've babbled.
Braden, you got any thoughts? He's ready to go.
Yeah,
first worlds for Braden.
First worlds for Braden. Yeah, first worlds for the whole crew. And honestly, we're bringing Braden. I don't even know what Braden's allowed to film.
He's gonna film as much as he can until he gets kicked out.
Honestly, my thought process is, I think what the most useful thing Braden could do is every event, just because you can't film the contest, you should just have a spreadsheet rocking.
Please.
And after each event in the groups, like, this is what happened.
Yeah.
On my YouTube channel. It's
yeah.
All right, Braden sitting in the stands.
Yeah, honestly,
upload.
Braden's live streams. Yeah, why not? You do a live stream. Maybe peak it a little bit, get him going.
Those YouTube views. It's like, oh,
Ooh.
like one of the world staff is like, no.
Yeah. It's just Colin staring at him like when he turns.
Every time I look.
Yeah.
Braden's just filming the crowd reactions. Something happened. Rain O'Neill just did some shit down there.
Oh, Lucas passed out.
I'm drawing out live action.
Yeah, a crayon.
Yeah. Oh, it's like in the courtroom where they can't take photos.
Yeah.
Braden's drawing. Here's Matt Ragg pulling 10 reps on deadlift.
Yeah. Awesome. Anything else you want to touch on before we
I
get
think
out
next
here?
week we got to do Australia's Strongest Man.
Yep.
Because that's coming up next weekend.
Oh, you know what we should do?
We got to do a Q&A.
Oh, yeah,
We're due for a Q&A or hot takes. We've been asked to do that.
We're also due for who the fuck is that guy?
We are. We need to talk to Seth Sukup.
Yeah, we should do Seth Sukup. And you know what? Anyone in the comments, if you think there's someone we should have on, let us know in the comments.
Yep. But yeah, we need to, for sure, Australia's Strongest Man.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be on Official Strongman, so people can be able to watch it. Too.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show.
Yep.
BJ Stone, let's go.
Yeah, that's my pick. I think BJ Stone.
I think BJ's got it.
BJ's got it,
Yep.
especially with Patica pulled out.
Yeah, Patica hurt himself. That dude's good. Patica will be at the Big Four soon.
Yep. Okay.
Anyway, love you, nerds.
It's a wrap.